back at the Airbnb in the air conditioning after,
thank God,
that thing. US-Panama 1-1 draw. Not our best performance.
Not our best performance. Absolutely, the referee was playing for Panama today. So there is, I guess you could say, something to be said for we were playing 12 and 11. But yeah, there was no connection between the kind of the base of midfield and the attacking half of midfield. I mean, there was almost no connection between Dax and Acosta, and then Joe Corona.
Right, and Joe Corona looked like, especially in the first half before he came off in the second half, it looked like he didn't know what he wanted to do. Does he want to go forward and support Dwyer? Does he want to stay back and support Acosta and Dax? And you know, they were sitting pretty deep. They moved up. They moved up quite a bit. It looked like in the second half, Acosta didn't have his best game. He called it a crap performance on Twitter just a little bit ago, but he was very active. I thought Acosta and Dax were both very active, but Acosta was sloppy. It looked like maybe he was trying to do too much. He was, how can you look sad with so much Americana?
You haven't seen the shoes. I took them off because my feet were hurting.
It was unbelievably hot.
Oh, yeah. This was ridiculous. I got to say, all in all, Nashville failed on CONCACAF, U.S. Soccer, whatever failed today. There was really nothing for fans to do. We did finally find the small, very small fan area. We did get pictures and autographs from Tony Meola and Brian McBride. So
that was fun.
Cool.
That was probably the highlight of the day.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. But beyond that, it was hot as hell, and there was nothing to save you from it today. In fact, we tried to buy, my girlfriend tried to buy sunscreen at the game, but they wouldn't let us into the pro shop, the only place they sell it in the entire building, and they wouldn't let us out of the game to go back around to come into the pro shop. So there's just no way to get it once you're in the stadium. So fortunately, there were some people to help us because we'd been, I guess, out in the sun long enough that it was wearing off or something, so we needed more. So I don't think I looked sad so much as I'm just worn out.
Yeah, it's you know, the game didn't help. I guess we'd be a little happier if we had won, but I don't know that we would look like we have much more energy because it was brutal sitting there. Some of you saw us on TV. We amped it up for the camera. But yeah, it was brutal. It was the one game I think I can ever remember where when we're walking out, I saw more Dasani bottles than beer cans.
Yeah.
It was just like,
I put mine down or I would be drinking it right now. I have to agree with you, Leipzig, actually. Zardes actually looked pretty good when he was out there. His first touch was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and nothing really came of it. He didn't really get a chance to use his speed. But all in all, I can't complain about him today. And I mean, it's not like I complain about him much anyway because I genuinely like the guy. But you know, we make fun of his, or you know, make comments about his kind of stone foot first touch, but he didn't really have that today. It was actually pretty decent. I mean, really, of the later subs, I would say Agudelo had the worst first touch. There were a few instances where if his first touch had been better, I think there would have been something to come of it. But you know, he was kind of bouncing the ball a few feet, a few yards, and then he was losing it in the dribble or you know, the second touch kind of because the first touch was failing.
Yeah, people talking about Bedoya, I would have much preferred Areola. I wondered about, somebody just asked about Bedoya getting the armband. It does seem like it maybe should have gone to Omar.
Yeah. Well, I didn't understand why it wasn't Gazan.
But yeah, maybe just because you don't want your goalie to have it if you can avoid it. But
Howard's been captain lots of times.
Right. Yeah.
Gazan was captain the
other day.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe Bruce is spreading it around there, but I would have preferred Areola. It just seemed like we had nobody in the middle of the pitch, though. You know, in the attacking third.
Yes, like it was a penalty, Hunter. No, you continue.
Which penalty? The
was on the second half. I assume he means.
I didn't see the replay. I didn't look up at the board in time, and
I don't think they showed it.
Did they not? We were at the opposite end, so it
I'm calling it just because that referee was bullshit. That guy was full on playing for Panama. I mean, if he's not declared man of the match, I call bullshit. Because in the end, he was absolutely the deciding factor.
Like I said to you during the match, the problem is with some of these CONCACAF refs, there are different styles of soccer in CONCACAF. And Panama is a country that loves to
cheat,
stand on the ball until you force them off. They're not going to give you 10 yards. They're going to kick the ball out of the way when you set it up just to screw with you. And just those little things that get under your skin. This was a ref who chose not to enforce that stuff. He didn't give any cards today, did he?
No.
Obviously, so you can't say that he wasn't, he was, completely corrupt and giving cards to us.
Because realistically, okay, fine. He wasn't giving them to us,
right?
That were.
It was more he just couldn't be bothered. There was one time in the first half where Acosta was standing over the ball, and the Panama defender clearly wasn't giving 10 yards, and the ref could not be bothered to even walk over. He just kept waving him, and he wasn't moving, and the ref just said fine, blew the whistle, and Kellen took it, but. He just didn't seem to care. And that's pretty par for the course with what you get with CONCACAF. I thought Kellen Rowe was pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, this is the second game in a row where I've got to say he was better than I expected. Maybe I shouldn't say it a second time in a row, but I think he earned his spot out there. I understood why he came off when he did, but all in all, his first touch is pretty good. I like that he turns and looks to attack pretty quickly.
Yeah.
He looks good on the ball, and I can't fault a kid basically for that. So I want to see him keep getting chances, but I also understand kind of why he came off at the time, because there wasn't a lot going down the left side.
No, as for Dwyer, he had a goal off a beautiful assist from Rowe. I don't know that we can knock Dwyer too much. He didn't get a lot of service, but.
He was active. He tried hard. I mean, and he finished when he finally got the chance.
All in all, I just think it was a very crap performance from us. The referee obviously did not help, but I don't know that we win this either way. I mean, you could say if he calls the penalty, and we'd have to go back and watch the video. If he calls the penalty, obviously we would win it. That's a game deciding play. But I don't know. I have to you guys can tell us what you think, but. Guzan, he was okay. I mean, he gave up that bad rebound, but what are you going to do from a 3-foot shot?
Yeah, I mean, to me, that was a point blank shot. That's just a reaction save. He got his hand to it. He got his hand to the best shot, and he stopped it. But at that distance, it's not like you don't have time to cushion it. You don't have really time to direct it. He was just putting a hand in front of the ball, and he got it. So I don't fault him for that goal. That was just unfortunate.
And then so the ball flies off Guzan.
Panama's
player flicks it into space, and Omar just couldn't be bothered to run up and close that space. Again, it was incredibly hot.
Yeah.
Omar plays in Mexico, so he's used to heat, but it was extremely hot. That's why the guys look slow. Panama looked kind of slow too, and that's a team with speed. Obviously, their speed was hurting us at times, but it just seemed like from the start of the match, we had a lot of possession. We were switching fields left and right, and there's just nothing going. And it was, maybe that's on Bruce. Maybe Bruce didn't do enough to plan for this. But I mean, it is what it is. We still have a solid chance of advancing.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, this was the only, if you want to call it, a tough game of the opening round. The next two are.
The hat. I just can't get
in a sense all but gimmies, but so whatever. We at least got a point from it. Who cares about facing Martinique? I mean, I understand what Simon said about it, and that they do have relations to the French team in a sense, but they're not going to be on par with us.
They better not be.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just feel like there were a lot of things going against going against kind of this team, you could say today, that make this a performance it's hard to judge against. I do agree with a lot of people commenting. I won't say that Zusi cost us the game. That to me is untrue. I actually thought he played pretty well. But yeah, what does Lehigh have to do to get a game around here?
Didn't somebody have a giant cardboard cutout of his face?
Miazga.
Oh, it was Miazga. That's right.
Somebody had a big Miazga face. I am hoping to see Miazga at some point in the opening round here. I think if you'd seen a win today, Miazga might be a starter.
That's a good point.
In the next game.
With a lot of these guys now, Bruce does not have the luxury of messing around. We have to win the next game. So, and we should, but we have to. And it's what, Wednesday night in Tampa? Is that?
I think that's right.
So, I would expect a win there.
Yeah, I mean, really, this means we have to win the next 2 games, which you'd expect we would anyway. But I think, we need to.
Ricardo. Zusi is not shit. He is a hero. Ricardo remembers.
I did call for San Zusi a few times when he had a chance. But, I don't think he played terribly. But to me, and in fact, even there was like a breakaway that Panama had that he managed to win the ball and stop it from turning into like a full-on breakaway with a shot or something and possible goal. I think it was in the first half. So considering he's probably our slowest player, to do that was impressive. But I still think you've got a consistently played right back, or someone with a lot of experience who I think frankly plays at a higher level than Zusi does, and he can't get a game. I mean, he can't get anything.
Zusi was fine. Another problem was, Zusi was right in front of us for the first half, and so we did get a really good look at him. He was fine. He's slow, but he's generally decent. His positioning kind of makes up for how slow he is. But up that side of the field with Zusi and Bedoya, that's 2 defensive-minded, slower players. Exactly.
And I don't think that helped anything. A lot of our attack in the first half was going up the right side. I think it probably would have been more active had we gone to the left more often.
Yeah.
And Bedoya is too slow. Ben and I think some other people have commented he's just too slow to be out there. I think he was there because Areola didn't have a great game against Ghana, and then realistically, this is the toughest game. So I think Bruce was just going defensively, as opposed to Areola, who isn't as much of a defensive contributor. So I think it was more, this was a way of padding the defense a little bit.
It sure seems like that's what he wanted to come out in, because they were sitting deep.
Yeah.
They were passing back and forth and back and forth. And what good is possession if you're not going to actually attack? I would have much preferred us come out, attack. Maybe we get beaten on one, but we did anyway. So I would have preferred us go for it, but Bruce is very pragmatic, and I would hope that, I wonder what he's saying or what he said after the match. I hope he wasn't playing for the point. I hope he doesn't view it as a success, because I don't. It's probably good enough, but it shouldn't be good enough.
Dominic, I won't kill Bruce for not playing Lehigh, just because it's been so long since we've seen Lehigh play for the U.S. that, I mean, I want to see he can do it too before I'm going to say like, oh, he should absolutely be out there. So I won't say that 100% he should be there. I just feel like if we're looking at kind of the bodies of their work, I think probably he should rate above Zusi. And Zusi's not a real fullback. Lehigh is.
It's a very Klinsmann move.
Yeah. So I won't crucify Bruce right now for it. I just feel like it's probably not the best idea to go Zusi over Lehigh. But I also, it's not like I've seen Lehigh play with this team, or really even for the U.S. in so long, that you can say, oh no, absolutely, he's better at the international level. I don't know. That's kind of a guess. So I won't hammer Bruce for this. I disagree that if this was Klinsmann, we'd say, oh, come on. I think we'd say kind of the same thing, which is, why not give the guy a chance? But I won't necessarily fault him for not giving the guy a chance today.
A couple of notes related to stuff kind of not soccer related, but related to the game. Like Chris pointed out, CONCACAF runs a shitty event.
Oh yeah.
There's like, I gotta
they
give
do nothing.
U.S. Soccer is in charge of the World Cup qualifiers, the home ones. They do a much, much better job than what CONCACAF did today. There were a lot of problems, a lot of little problems that added up. The American Outlaws tailgate was a half mile from the stadium, probably because I'm speculating here. They didn't want to give up a lot at the stadium.
Yeah.
Or the fan experience, which in our last match here was right up on the stadium, which would be a perfect spot for it. They backed it way off, and you didn't even see it. It's like literally under a bridge.
That they didn't allow us access to, even though the sun was blaring down. There was nothing like, there were no cooling areas. There was no water. Water was $5 a bottle, and you couldn't walk 40 feet and go stand under the bridge in the shade. They had it fenced off. And
2, it's time for American Outlaws to start rethinking some of their chants. Songs. It's not to be an old man, because American Outlaws have done a tremendous amount of good for growing soccer in this country. But
there were a number of things that Sam's Army did right before
a few came along. Very simple chants, and we would keep them going for a very long time. American Outlaws has many chants.
50 chants with 40 words
and they like
each.
To switch them often, and it's draining, especially when you're kind of on the edge of the section like we were. You can't hear what they're doing at the beginning, and it just kind of kills the atmosphere. I think it needs to be simplified, and it needs to be easy for everybody. The new person who shows up, there's always new people at these things. The new people who show up need to be able to pick it up and go as quickly as
just the casual attendees,
the veterans,
the people in the rest of the stadium. Like, that's the one I think positive that USA still has, is at least random people in the stadium who have no clue what this is could pick up USA. I mean, USA.
There's also,
you understand what's going on.
There's also it used to be a little more organic as far as the chants would go.
Yeah.
Anyone could start one and it would go. If it's not a chant that's on the list, we don't do that anymore. And
it was very
and I want to be clear about this.
Protective, I think, of
I believe that We Will Win sucks.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I believe we should stop saying that.
It's stupid. It's not even, I won't do it. I refuse to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anybody watching Nicaragua versus Martinique? Is anything going on there? Because it's right over there, but we're not
high enough to see into the stadium, and there's no one there, I think, for it to be loud enough that we could hear it either. And Nicaragua versus Martinique is that's about right.
Somebody just made a comment about Dwyer. Why do we have to have a Brit? He seems pretty excited to be an American to me.
I don't fault somebody for their place of birth.
He's a citizen.
So long as they want to be here and want to play.
Exactly.
Like, and Timmy Chandler, you can trash for being German and not caring. No problem. Have at it. I don't think he cares. No. To me, I think it's a bit like Kenny Saif's comment about, like, I just want to play in the World Cup. Which, if he can play along, I don't care if that's his reason. I mean, I get it. I get why Rossi went and played for Italy. He wants to win a World Cup, and that was his best chance. I get it. I understand it. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I get it. It makes sense. But if you and I guess if you can commit to it, fine. What, John Brooks wouldn't play for Germany if Germany had called him instead? Like, I get it.
Jermaine, of course.
Yeah, Jermaine too. If Germany had given him the chance to truly play for a World Cup, he would have played for him. I don't fault the guy for playing for us. Any of them. I don't fault him for playing for us. I don't think it's a problem of where you were born. I think it's just a matter of, do you want to be here and do you want to represent the United States? Yeah. And if you can do that, and his wife wasn't born in the United States, but she sure loves to represent the United States. I don't have a problem with her either. Like, let them. And they don't make any bones about the fact that they're intending to raise their child as like the next generation of a U.S. player. I think they want to be here. They want to represent us. So I don't care if he was born in England.
Everybody does it. I mean, we're just playing the same game everybody else is. I do have to say, the crowd, 47,000 and some announced attendance. The crowd was, from a size standpoint, very good, which bodes well for Nashville's bid for a MLS expansion team, I think. It was bigger. I think it was maybe 40,000 last time we were here. It was a little bit bigger.
I think it's about
they
that.
still, opposite the side you see on TV, the upper deck, they still don't sell like they would for a Titans game. But other than that, it was pretty close to full. So good for you, Nashville. There were problems with the handling of the way the match kind of happened from a fan standpoint, but a lot of people showed up, which is cool. So, and people are genuinely, like when you talk to them that aren't going to the match, they know about it. They're like, oh, you're in town for the match. I know that that's happening. They're informed. It's not like, you know, what's that? You don't get a lot of that around here. So I think it would be a good city for an expansion team. I don't think they're Cincinnati. Cincinnati's kind of, I think, proven that they should have one, and this is awfully close to Cincinnati to be giving two teams to the same kind of area, but maybe you do.
So is LA. Dominic, I'll give you the fact that, yeah, I mean, we give Chandler a lot of shit, but I think we give Chandler a lot of shit because he plays well in the Bundesliga, and then he seems to not care when he plays for the U.S. I even think that was kind of Howard's comment, like, you know, when you were talking about, you know, Howard doesn't like dual nationals. I don't think that's it, because I think Howard probably likes Jermaine Jones. Jermaine Jones tries his ass off. Like, we have lots of problems with the way Jermaine plays, but he doesn't seem to, like, his heart seems to be in the right place.
Yeah.
You know, his brain may not always be in the place we'd like it to be, but his heart is definitely in the right place. So in that regard, we don't have a problem. I think it's that we question whether Chandler's heart is in the right place.
I was talking about Jordan Morris. He was on the other end of the field from us. He was in late. I didn't see him do a single thing. But again, that's maybe there's something I missed, because it's a long way. Especially we were sitting in the front row, so we had no kind of angle on how things were happening down there too much. So.
He has a flaccid penis. Thank you, Leipzig. Yeah, I think you're right, Christian. With Acosta here, I think Jermaine. I think over the last few games, it's pretty well confirmed. I think that Jermaine's done, short of like Acosta getting injured or something. I think this tournament is pretty much to lock up that position as his. And while you can say that he didn't have the I don't know, maybe leadership or control of the game that you hoped for, based on kind of what you want to see him do, because really there wasn't good link up between the base of the midfield and the attack. And that's, I mean, in many ways, that's his role. He was playing much deeper, but we also weren't looking to attack as directly. I mean, even when we had the chance, we didn't try to play long balls. We didn't play through balls. We looked wide
every time,
held the ball in possession.
Yep.
So I question whether some of that was his instincts this time, or whether that was truly coaching, which, you know, you can definitely put on Bruce then. I think that was probably coaching. But I do tend to think, I guess to bring it back, I do tend to think this tournament is pretty much Acosta locking down that box-to-box role, and that's probably the end of Jermaine's U.S. career. And
again, he wasn't fantastic today. He had some sloppy passes and things like that, but he's clearly a better player. And that's not the. I like Jermaine. We have problems with Jermaine, but I like Jermaine. And Jermaine is a better right back than Zusi. If you could get him, stay there,
right back, absolutely. 100%. I'd probably say he's better than Lehigh, and I can't even compare the two. I'm just saying, yeah, no, he's good and he works hard. He just is not positionally sound.
No, he's just, you don't know where he's going to be.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I know, Christian, we won't win the World Cup playing like this, but the Gold Cup thing you're saying. I don't know. I think that
maybe not. This
Gold Cup is fairly. I don't think it's as contested. So I think we probably could win it like this. I don't think we have to have our best team, much less our best game, to win this tournament. Now, having said that, we didn't have our best team. Well, we had most of our best team, and we didn't have our best games, and we didn't even take third place the last time around. So It's certainly possible. But I just think that this tournament in particular isn't going to be highly contested. So I'm not sure that that we have to be on our best to win it.
And somebody just asked if Bruce will be fired if we lose to Nicaragua. I think it was Leipzig. No, I don't think they care that much about the Gold Cup. I think Bruce is riding this out until Bruce would be fired if we didn't.
If we didn't qualify, sure.
But if we no matter what happens in the Gold Cup, Bruce is safe for now. So,
Julius, of course, this gets us into the Confederations Cup, but it's still unclear if the Confederations Cup is going to continue. I mean, they're not going to play a second winter tournament in Russia, in Qatar. So it doesn't look like the Confederations Cup is going to occur again. Now, there are still more developments coming with the Qatar World Cup, so they could be moving it. I mean, I still don't believe they'll do it, but there are more countries that are making it harder to do business with Qatar, which is making more construction companies who are building all these stadiums for the World Cup consider backing out of that country. So if that happens, I don't know how they're going to finish the stadiums, and then whatever. Maybe you'd see a Confederations Cup because they want to test wherever they go with the World Cup instead. But
if it makes money, even if the World Cup is in Qatar, there will be probably a summer Confederations Cup somewhere else. I assume it makes money. If FIFA's doing it, there are TV rights to be sold, there are tickets to be sold, there's payoffs to be had. I would think that they'll make it happen. But I don't think, Chris is right, I don't think there will be a second winter tournament where the major leagues in Europe need to stop for this thing to happen. So
I don't think England's FA would allow it.
No.
But, I mean, I was surprised they finally gave in on the World Cup. But, yeah, that they'd give in on a Confederations Cup as well. I mean, screwing up 2 seasons of the EPL makes way too much money.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
It matters a lot more than the Confederations Cup.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
All right. Have we covered it?
I think probably so.
So we have a game Wednesday, which means we'll have a show Tuesday. So we won't tell you what we think we'll do against Martinique because we're too tired and we want to go take a shower, not together, separately. But
thank you for that.
We'll talk about Martinique on Tuesday. How about that?
Next World Cup should be North Korea, China, and South Africa.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, just ruin it all. All right. Do you have any final words?
You're done. Thanks, everybody.
You're done.